Boom, and we're live. I always wanted to do that Joe Rogan intro. But yeah, welcome back to the second episode of Only Messin podcast. Last week we finished off on talking about some secondary school stories from Ireland where we all have met. And I think the last one that we finished talking about was Owen was talking about the time a person behind him, or was it in front of you, that was watching
underage
basically underage betting inside a classroom. He was gambling on Cheltenham, wasn't he? What was that?
Yeah. No, well, he was just won a handy few pound on it now, like, so he did, like, but no, just in class, like, it's just funny, I guess, like, just,
do you know any other people that like gamble that much? Because I know one of my dad works with this Romanian guy who's like who's always talking to him about like, hey, give me €2, like I'll make 20 out of it. Like, it sounds pretty dodgy, but he's just a colleague that he has. And the funny thing about him is every week he gives away all of his paid wage to his wife, and then he keeps like €20 for himself for like a box of cigarettes, and then he gambles the rest and actually makes money off of it, which is surprising.
That's harmless.
So but that's the thing, people do make money off betting. I have no idea how they do it, like, or just like an inkling of
just
how they even
bet on like corners in a match, or like just stupid stuff, not like do you know what I mean? Like, I know a fellow made a load of money doing that. He just bet on like Man United getting so many offsides in the match, like fucking Chelsea, like.
But what odds would you get for that?
I don't know. I got given the talk that if I had a Paddy Powers account, I wouldn't get a loan in my life, so I kind of just never got into it. Because I suppose it does affect your credit score, but I don't know how much.
Does it actually affect your credit score? How do they know? Yeah, how would they know?
Yeah, but if
you can use Revolut now.
I think Revolut,
I think Revolut might be a way around it now. But I remember back in 6th year, like, I was gonna get one and start betting on horses, like every man should in a class.
Yeah, in English poetry class, like.
Well, I just remember my mother going, "Kieran, I'm not telling you, but fucking delete that Paddy Powers now." So like it's like the story I heard in primary school. Like, hear about the fella now swinging on his chair, fell back and fucking died.
Split open his head.
Yeah. Did that ever happen? Because there has to be a whole like 30 kids.
I'd say there's been stitches. I'd say there's been scenarios where kids had to get stitches, but death
like,
ever.
If a kid died in a class, you'd have like 30 traumatized kids after seeing a kid just turn blue and die. Like,
it's also bullshit, because I'm a survivor of such an event where basically when I was younger, we have like an island in the house, so it's like, it's high enough up, and we have like these high chairs that you have to get up on, and the ones we used to have were like these wooden ones with thin metal legs, right? So you hop up on it, and there's no back, so you just kind of sit up. And one morning I just got up, I was absolutely wrecked, and like, Mom just throws cereal in front of me. I'm like, fucking bollocks, like. And I take one eat, and I go like, just like sit back and go like, like relax, just keep going, and slam my head off the floor. And then you hurt for like 5 minutes, but then you're fine after. And then after that day, I was like, that story is absolute nonsense. Like, I've thought it before, but I was like, it's like Mythbusters. I literally just fell like twice the height, because I was high up, like, especially I was probably like 4 foot at the time, like, and like head first, like there was no brace from my background. It was just bang. But there's also the other time I fell down the stairs. Like, that was just another thing altogether. Like, I have a pretty big staircase. I don't know how to describe it. It's like pretty long. It's fucking hard wood. Like, there's no carpet on it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I had these pajamas, and they were just like a size too big. And I woke up and I was like, oh shit, it's time to play like FIFA 06 on like the PlayStation 2 or something. I fucking dash out of my room, and just as I get to the stairs, I just catch one of the legs on the pajamas, and I just start tumbling, and it's like comedic, like the sound just that dum 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 dum
Oh
dum.
my god.
And the
The
best
laugh
thing is,
track going on in the
I
background.
have like a turn on my stairs, so you go up 4 steps and then like up and I just go doof 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 doof, slam off the wall, doof doof.
Oh, God.
God.
I start crying.
Man, but
Cry.
you go into fucking survival mode when you start like falling down the stairs. Like, you know that gif of that like granny falling down the stairs, like, you know what I mean? It's just that one. Fucking, I don't know. Like,
No, I
what you call it?
I don't know. Saying it.
You know the one that the real granny who actually died. No, it's just like some cartoon or something.
Jeez.
But like, yeah, just going back on the videos we were talking about last week. But no, like when I was getting a COVID test to come back here, right? Like I had to get this test in Cork, like because it was the only one that would get it in time, and I'd get the results so that I'd have it like 72 hours before I go on the plane, right? So, my mom drives me there, right? I go up to the like hotel where they're doing the test, right? And it starts like snowing and like it's like 0 degrees, right? Next thing I'm like, oh, like, you know, I'll just watch myself. It's a bit slippy, right? So I go up to the hotel, I go up to the desk and I'm like, where's the test center? And it's like, oh no, back out where you came. So next thing I go outside to the steps, right, where you come in. And next thing, I probably looked like I was in a cartoon. I was like you know, the wee, 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 like, you know, the slip. Like, I literally just went, yeah, like, the whoa, like, down like 12 steps. Didn't like eat shit at all. Just barely kept my balance. And like, I was just like, what the, like, but I was just like, I'm gonna die. Like, I was just like thinking about nothing else. Just like, don't fucking fall. You could just slap your head. Like, no, just, it's a nasty one.
I had one of those experience ones, right? My dad and I, often every summer now because of COVID, not so much. I kind of go back to Poland with my parents, and one of the things that we do is we go to this town in the south of Poland called Zakopane, and Zakopane is like a Highlander town, so it's known for their mountains. A lot of people go hiking there, and yeah. So there was one day my dad and I went out for a hike, just a regular hike as we usually would. But going out for a hike with my dad, it's like my dad used to be in the military, and it can be kind of hardcore. Like my dad looks at the route of the day that we're going to take, and the route might say, oh, you know, from here to get to here, from here to here, this will take you around 4 hours, you know. And my dad's always
Or
like,
else 20% casualties, like, you know what I mean? He's just taking this in his head.
yeah, but he's like calculating this. He's like, we'll make it in half. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm supposed to enjoy this. So we start off, we hike up with a light jog, like it's a fast pace. We're basically passing every single person. But then on the way down, my dad has this theory that if you jog down, it's less less grueling on your leg muscles. And this can be quite dangerous because we're jogging down like these rocky roads, these roads that are made just, or like not roads, but paths that are made from like rocks that can easily slip, and you can slip on them. So one day, we were jogging down this path, and on the right hand side of the path is just this big massive drop where a bunch of like you can just see like these tall ass trees. So I'm jogging with my dad. I'm kind of trying to keep up, but I'm quite tired. And what happens is I land my foot in like a bad way, and I slip.
Ooh.
And I literally fall down the side of the cliff, but like grab onto the top of the path. Like I
Jesus.
grabbed onto the branch, and my dad like picked me up, right? I grabbed onto like some natural weeds or like tall grass. And my dad and my cousin was there at the time, actually. They both picked me up. After that, the funny thing is, we just continued jogging down. Like that wasn't a bad idea. Like okay, he didn't die this time, so we might as well continue because he won't die again. Like
Yeah.
I like
that was
I like the idea of not letting you fall, but hear me out. If you jump in the trees, you get down quicker. Less tired. I don't want to be the guy to point it out to you, but
Or just fucking impaled on a branch, maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Just like, you know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It would be like
how high for like roughly? Could you like give me a picture of like how high? Oh, yeah.
To the
How
ground,
How
not to the
many,
tree.
how
like-
many chicken fillet rolls?
see
How
the,
many-
the ground wasn't visible because trees were visible.
Oh.
I assume it was like I was like 600 meters up. Like I would die. Like
Oh.
and
Okay.
yeah, it gets quite.
Like you'd have a
hardcore.
long think on the way down, like that way.
Yeah.
You know. Oh,
Like I would be falling and I'd be like, why did I go out hiking? I could have stayed with mom, going around pubs in the town, like instead of doing this shit. Like should have been drinking ginger tea in a pub. And look at me now, dying now. I love my dad. Like if he came down, like he just like opens up his like little map with the route and just kind of goes, well, they said that 10% casualties, so I guess makes sense. Like and continues going like forward.
yeah. It is an acceptable loss. I cannot.
I mean, it was only. It said it in the route here that 10% people may die. I was willing to take this risk. Yeah.
It's a good thing you kept up.
But,
Because what if he's like too far ahead? Like he's
And then
fucking
you
kept
just like,
going.
Actually, good question. Have you ever thought about joining like the military in any form or any country,
No.
like ever?
No.
No,
Not
but
for me.
I remember towards the end of, before we got our results in the leaving cert, I kept saying to my parents, fuck, do you know what? The army, like, I actually might take a few years in the army. But I kept
If you can
saying
fix a pen, you can
like-
fix a tank. Join the army.
for like 2 months, I said, for like a full 2 months, I just kept saying to my mother, oh, the army's, army might be a good option.
But what attracted you about the army? Like,
No, I was joking. I was being completely serious. Like,
oh.
no, but obviously I didn't portray that, but I just kept going, do you know, the army wouldn't be a bad shout, to be honest with you.
What was their reaction to that?
Being horrified. They were like, no, you just did it, just, then gradually they kind of copped on that I was just taking a complete piss.
Huh.
But realistically, no, I've never considered.
I think if you can handle it, like fair fucking play. But like, no, that's just so like not my thing. Like, fuck.
And
I don't think I could handle the bullshit in like basic training, like all that like just.
It's like, this bed
I
is
just-
1 degree off to the left. Got a shit throws in your
Just
face.
like,
I would just think,
come
you
on,
fucking prick, that was so pointless what you just did.
Yeah.
I on the
Why
other
you
hand,
swear?
like what you call it, for like my experience, I'm probably the second male in my family that hasn't been in the army. Like my uncle Michael, he hasn't. He didn't go to the army, but my dad back in like the early 90s, like 80s, there was still like conscription. So he got conscripted to the army, and he spent there like 2 years or 3 years, something like that. And yeah, he's always telling me about like these stories because it was like post-communist army. Like he was like, we used to. I remember I used to stand outside the embassy of Brazil for 12 hours, and it was tough, and we didn't get much food. And I'm like, Dad, like Jesus. I remember, but on the other hand, I got a letter 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago when I turned 18. There was a letter sent into my my address in Poland because I still have a house in Poland, well, an apartment. But there was a letter sent about, hey, join the Polish army, like and it was directed at me, and they were basically telling me like, hey, you should go in for a military checkup. The thing is, a year and a half ago, a year and a half ago, I got sent another letter that was like, hey, you have to go to get this military like kind of checkup. So what they do is they do like from like classic like World War II movies, or if you ever watch like the first Captain America, where he goes in and he's like the doctor's just like checking his heart and stuff. I have to basically do that. But the letter said, it said like, hey, you have to do this. If not, he will be arrested by the police and brought to the military, like whatever, checkup place, so you actually get assigned a category. But I wouldn't conscript there because there's no conscription in Poland currently. They would just basically assign a category for me. So like, hey, he's like an A type soldier, so you can
Right.
be a
It's not actually
pilot,
you're
be
getting
this
trained.
person. Yeah. But if there was like a state emergency, they would probably call upon me to join the army and be like, hey, join now, like, you know.
That's
But
crazy.
I haven't been back to Poland since I got that letter, so I don't know if I land. Just a military like helicopter drops down, takes me in, like, you know. So I'm
Well,
kinda scared.
Something like
Aren't you-
some Polish general.
Are you not an Irish citizen?
Yeah, I
though?
was just gonna say, so you don't have to do that anymore, do
Yeah,
you?
I got 2 passports like Jason Bourne. Keep one in the locker, like with it on me all the time. Foreign currency on me as well. Yeah, I got two passports, so I don't know if I can claim Irish citizenship and be like, hey, I'm Irish, I don't want to do this. But at the same time, I don't know if that's a necessary thing to do if you have a Polish citizenship. Like, would my citizenship be revoked? But anyway, I'm talking shite now.
Yeah, I think. Oh fuck! I forgot what I was gonna say. It's just
Great
like-
podcasting skills.
Yeah.
All I
like,
could think, Bartek,
Green.
like, you know when you were saying about your dad outside Brazil, and he was like telling you, oh yeah, I was like standing outside Brazil for time. All I could think was of you like hanging off the cliff, like, Dad, yeah, that's great, pull me up, man. Will you?"
Yeah, he's
Bartek,
telling
this
me
is
all
now a
these
good
stories.
time to tell you.
Back in 1992, that was the first time I had McDonald's. The man loves McDonald's, to be honest. One thing about my dad, that was the first, I think that he was given shitty food for like 2 months of like service, and then one day he was laid off, or like, what's the thing that you have, like the military, they give you a holiday, there's a specific word for that.
R&R or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But he was given that, and with his like when he exited the barracks, he found that in the local town there was a place called McDonald's, and he heard rumors about this, and he went in there. And he was like, Jesus Christ, well, this is America, you know. And he's still a big
Such
fan of McDonald's to
countless
this
from
day.
communism.
Look at the funny man with his burger. He laugh.
The clown make burger.
Yeah, but none of your parents ever, or do you know anyone that has been in the military, or anyone that maybe in Ireland seen as though there's like a big association with some family members could be
Oh my
involved
God.
in the IRA?
Oh no, none of my family's involved with it.
Yeah.
My
The ra. Just
Ra-
like,
Ra.
yes, so I'll just give it on my podcast. So 2 of my uncles are just
both alive today. Actually,
they're
coughing.
IRA generals. Like, Jesus Christ.
From what the only thing I can think of, I think my great granddad was in the Navy, and his submarine actually got shot, and he was in like
What
one
is
of those.
this Navy now? Is it the British? one?
Yeah.
I can't. It probably was the Irish. Well, did the Irish Navy do much
real-
back
The
then?
real question here, but no.
It
I
could
don't know
have
if I
been.
want to hear this story or
Oh, it's
not.
the
Actually, to
Canadians.
answer.
You see, my great grandmother, she lived in Canada for quite some time. I don't know. It was one of the 3. Anyway, their submarine got shot,
Oh wow!
and he was
That's
in like a raft. He was in like a survival life raft scenario. I wish I had more to say
How
about it, but
can you
that's about
be
all I know.
In a raft,
Man.
if you're.
I think
I
he
think
was-
I watched a movie about that. Was that the Unbroken movie that they had
Unbroken,
with
yeah, man,
Angelina
that's such-
He
Jolie?
was. I think he. I don't know if he was.
That was his granddad. I don't know.
Was
What's
that
so
your
funny?
granddad?
No. It was,
That's Angelina Jolie's granddad. Shut the fuck up.
I don't know if it was. I don't know if he got taken prisoner then, or what happened by Germans. I can't remember. I'll actually ask about that, but
What are you talking about now? Now you're getting some goofy war stories now.
you were talking about the army and all that. I was just saying the only military thing I can think of in my family is that I'm aware my great grandfather.
So he may or may not have been captured by Germans.
Yes.
Hardcore.
There's like a diary my granny wrote in, my great grandmother wrote in, and we were able to read it. I can't fucking remember what the details of the story were. So I probably shared this with my mouth shut.
My great granddad was a milkman, because do you know how we only have like one census, because the rest got burned in GPO. All I know is like my great granddad was like fucking milkman or something like.
Did all the censuses
Did they get
actually
burned?
just wipe?
Yeah, if you go on the census.com, there's only like 3 or 4 like that are left.
Kieran, I don't believe you. I'm looking that up right now.
No,
What you call it?
Ali, just before we move on, Ali, I was just wondering though, like, did your your granddad, like, when he got captured by the Germans, did he like go to the secret UFO base they have, like, 'cause, like then that history channel,
I could
like, you
feel
know,
some bullshit coming there. Though.
just. Oh man, I love those documentaries though. It's just like it's such
History
bullshit. Like, you know, yeah. History made every day.
I don't own. I can confirm or deny.
UFOs.
Jesus, man. It's like those movies that are, well, now we're just rambling on, but I'm talking about those movies that are like the Nazis have escaped to the moon and they have created a base there, and there you come back in like 2020 to like overcome the Earth. But fun thing that I could actually mention, because I don't know if you know this about my great grandparents. So my great grandparents, one of them, my great grandmother. One of them she lived through World War II, and she was let off by the Germans because one of the soldiers found her to be attractive, and she was kind of left off by him, like not conscribed into work or stuff like that. And on the other one was sent in to be like basically into slave labor on this farm in Germany. She was milking cows, and my great grandfather, he was actually sent into a concentration camp. One of them.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Do you know which one?
He died. No, I think it was a smaller one. It wasn't like a bigger one that people would recognize, but it was one of the smaller ones in Poland. But they met after the war, and my great grandfather died before I was born. But my dad, like, he told me like that like his wife was talking about all the stories about like World War II, and he was like, it's pretty intense, like, you know, because in Poland, especially like in Central Europe, Eastern Europe, you can see a lot of these like World War II survivors still live. I'm talking about like 2006, 2007, when I used to live in Poland. That's when I would see those people.
But like Bartek, like Poland was like proportionally, it took the most casualties in World War II than any other country on Earth, like. So
Yeah, I
just
guess,
like, you know,
it's probably because of the high Jew population that used to be in Poland,
true.
and also like there was a lot of like rebellion, and like there's a few uprisings, and I think those like spiked up the amount of like casualties.
Is that Polish Independence Day, like the date of the Warsaw Uprising, or
no?
what is
that's
Independence Day?
That's when the Russians had, I think, took over Poland, and that's Day of Independence is when they fought back the Russians in Warsaw. So that's I don't know which day it is, to be honest. I don't have that much information about it, so I don't want to chat some shit and give people wrong information.
Right.
But yeah, that's the benefit of like being born in Eastern Europe, apart from like the poverty and having to move to a different country. But without that, I wouldn't have met you, lads. So, you know.
Oh,
right.
What a oddly weird, heartwarming note.
We
to
just went
end
from
on
the
after
Holocaust.
the Holocaust.
Yeah, someone just like, if someone skipped that bit, they would just hear like, and yeah, my great granddad was in the concentration camp.
Cuts to
and then skips a bit. Oh,
that's kind of cute. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm just looking there now. Sorry, just like a
go
quick.
on.
And I'm on the National Archive of Ireland, and there's only the census from 1901 and 1911, and then there's only fragments from 1821 to 51. So, and the rest are just fucking gone.
Is that because of the
crazy.
British presence?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know it properly, but weren't we like having a standoff in like the GPO, and like they just got fucked up? Like, sure, there's still bullet holes in the GPO from it, isn't there?
Yeah.
Would they not fix them?
Just ever hear of cement?
Cement or wall
Put a bit
filler?
of plaster over that.
Imagine extending that like argument. But anyway, but like, isn't it like I was listening to the Blind Boy podcast, and he was talking about that a lot of people actually have like still like their great grandparents would have lived through the famine or been through the Irish famine. Do any of you have like these grandparents, or have you heard about anyone that has gone through famine in your family?
I don't know my lineage
No.
back that
No.
far, to be
Neither do
honest.
I.
Like, the 1840s.
Alright.
No, just don't know.
Fair enough.
Like,
Fair enough.
yeah, my mom was pretty obsessed with like documenting her like ancestors and stuff, but like it was just like the leads just dried up like after a certain time, like, you know, because, you know,
Yeah.
I
of course.
wonder if it had something to do with like literacy as well, like, you know what I mean? Just like you couldn't even fill out a census or something, you know what I mean?
Oh
And just-
yeah.
it could have
Did
something
any
to
of
do with it.
you get that thing done? I don't know what it's called. You spit into the tube.
Oh yeah, my parents got that.
Spin
done.
to the tube.
Me or love, just spit in that tube for me there.
What, my ancestry? That thing.
Yeah. And like, yeah, my parents did it actually. It's like really boring. It's just like, yeah, you're just like 100% Irish. Like, it's just like, all right, good to know. So like, I don't know. I think my dad had a weird one where it was like, but I checked up recently, and it was like, I think they gave like wild like estimations of your ethnicity, but like I think they like toned them down now because they were like statistically insignificant or something. Like there was something saying that my dad was like 1% Arab or something. I was like, all right, like just like whatever, like, you know.
Yeah,
But,
they say it's only good if you're like American, because you know they're not
Yeah.
from America, like, so they're bound to be from somewhere else.
Mm.
Well, like, you don't need a fucking DNA test, Owen, to know you're Irish. Like, looking at you basically
But,
shout
just
Ireland.
look at
You're the
For
most
anyone that
identifiable
hasn't
Irish
seen
person.
Owen, yeah, can someone describe Owen? Like, if you had to make like a
Big
a
fuck off
criminal.
ginger.
I mean, like that's
Yeah, you know what I mean?
that's the
Fuck off,
kick.
ginger fella. Yeah.
Know
Oh
what I
yeah, I
mean?
know. Yeah.
Well, most
Do you ever
likely
get
be wearing
bullied for
something
being ginger?
turquoise. Sorry?
I think when
Sorry,
South Park, like, oh no, sorry, what's I got now?
I don't know. I was just saying, like, do you ever get bullied for being ginger?
I think
Well,
when
you are
like
now.
South brought out, yeah, I am now basically. Okay. I think when South Park brought out that episode, it was like, oh, you have no soul, but it's like, all right, fine.
What was the episode? Because I haven't watched that. Like, I've only been getting into South Park recently, so I'm kind of experiencing everything as new. Like, with some people would envy, I guess.
I forget the episode, Ollie. Do you remember?
Because gingers are pale, they have no souls. That's
I
how
can't
they-
remember.
and, like,
So to be honest.
Cartman starts like a cult. And Cartman, like, they prank him by like
They put him in makeup or
dyeing
something.
dyeing his hair and giving him freckles, and he starts a cult to like take souls for gingers.
And they like go. Oh no, I do remember. They go into that like airport lobby room where you can like rent it out, and they just go, and they're about to dump a load of like non-ginger kids into lava, and then this host comes in. You guys okay? You need more lava? You need more food? It's like, no, we're okay, thanks. Okay, well, thanks for choosing South Park Airport to your day.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
South Park's unreal.
it's a very good show for anyone that hasn't watched it. I would
But
recommend
man,
it.
never got like. I think if someone just wanted to insult me, it's like, I fuck off, you ginger or something. I just like,
Okay.
yeah, all right, like, yeah, okay, like, you know what I mean?
So did any of you ever get properly insulted like by someone like came across this aggressive kind of like thing?
Now,
No.
what do you mean now? I mean, there's like.
I don't
Ali,
know,
I
like
do it
just
to
like
Ali every
going
week.
through-
Like, why are you talking about it? Like, this is a weekly.
Yeah.
yeah, in fairness, right, the dynamic in this group is a lot of times Ollie is the brunt of the joke. So he, like, everyone just essentially there's times where it is scraping bullying Ollie, like where Kieran is just abusing Ollie for doing
It used to be
nothing.
the other way around, I think, for a while.
You're
I
making
think
it sound really bad. It's
No,
not as
no.
bad as
To be
that.
fair,
No,
Yeah,
but
I'm
the
just
dynamic
joking.
changes where like Ollie has like our support, and he just like like blasts down on Kieran, and we just like pile on, and then it happens the other way as well. Like,
I
just
don't think it
whatever's
happens
funny.
as much anymore. But when we were like certainly 15 to 18, just it was just like
Even
too
before
extreme.
that, Ali, me, Ali, and Owen used to be in PlayStation parties, Ali, and
Yeah,
like
that's what I was
Owen would
talking
be just
about. Oh, yeah,
sit there
What-
with a fucking popcorn because Ali would say something,
Yeah.
or we do. I don't know. I kill him in a game or something dumb, and he just that's just like poking the bear, like, and it just starts laying into me. But while Owen would just laugh, I give it back. I'm like, "What do you mean?" But and it would
And then we
just be like
just
40
Yeah.
minutes of killing each other.
and then we would
I'd
calm
just
down.
be there like enjoying this with the telly sandwich. Like I'd be just like, yeah, like snacks for this shit.
Yeah.
So good.
I know.
Nutella sandwiches.
I think it stands to our character that even though that happened every week, we would still log on. Like,
Oh no, we would like. I don't think we'd give a flying fuck, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I feel like this.
Just mates.
What's your opinion of like I don't know. I feel like you'd really get to like you're really good friends with a person once you start abusing each other. Like that is a big kind of significant transition where like first you're talking to a person and you're just having a normal conversation, and then you start meeting up, and then after a while, like the conversations don't even become conversations; they're just two-sided abuse at each other, and that's when you know you have a friend.
Yeah, I think that's a like a UK Ireland thing, or like you know,
Do you-
just like you do it here, and people go like, okay, like yeah, just over in the Netherlands, they're just like, oh, okay, it's just like as if I'd abuse you to your face, like come on, like
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
I clearly like you, like just like
Is it
why
not
do you think
obvious?
this?
Is it not
Is it
obvious?
not obvious that I'm
Yes.
just
Yeah,
I got
but-
my door, like you know, just like isn't it bullshit?
Isn't it obvious?
But there's that, and there's also the other side of it where there's just lad culture, and lads are just absolutely ripping into each other for like just basically bullying each other in the group. Like you know how sometimes in like male friend groups, like one person might mention something that's sensitive, or they might talk about their feelings, or like talk about liking a girl, and straight away it just goes, "Oh boy, oh you're so weak, man. What are you on about?" Like you know.
No, but
Yeah.
I think Ali brought this up before. Not about like us, but like about like I don't know. He saw it happen before him where it's like when lads are sober, it's like oh fuck off, boy, would you fucking man up, boy? Yeah, fuck up, shut up about that, will you? Here with the boys and have a good time. And then like 5 or 6 beers later, it's just that thing.
Oh yeah,
all right,
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
all right,
sorry.
boy. Here, what's going on? Come on,
No,
what's
I
going on?
remember
boy? I
this,
fucking
remember
love
this.
you, boy. Listen, boy, I fucking love you, right? And
I
you
remember
need to
that.
tell us how you feel.
It was
lads are so like
it was. I remember my friend. I was on a holiday with my brother. Him and his friends were living in Barcelona for the summer, and I went over for a week. In a bit, I think. And it was the first night out, and one of the lads was talking about there was about 6 or 7 of us, and one of the lads just was trying to talk about his sorry.
Sorry, can we just explain what happened there? Like,
Bartek just sent
Oh,
a text there, and it just saying, "Oh, needs a pee," except it just kind of popped up in an animated fashion in front of us,
Yeah,
going,
yeah, yeah.
"What the
And it went like,
oh,
and then it just went back
Yeah.
into it.
oh, no.
Anyway,
Alright.
oh, that hit me.
Slick.
So he started talking about his dad, and they were just like, "Oh, do you ever shut up, boy? Like Jesus Christ!" It was pretty much something along the lines of
Jeez.
that, and kind of blanking it, and then literally it was just like. All right, so tell me about your dad. What's going on? They just had a full-on, constructive, well put together sound conversation. And it was just like,
What is that though? Like, what is like? I feel like we can talk about like important stuff, but I guess it's easier when you're kind of fucked. I guess like. The text reads, "I'm back."
I'm back.
Why are you all laughing? Like I remember, I put
No,
down
no,
my
imagine,
headphones
you're
and I
like,
just heard an
"Need to
explosion.
wait, where's
But the message just popped up on the like it just took over my screen, just like need to pee.
It wasn't even like
Pretty funny.
I'm going to pee. It was like it was like need to pee. It's like, all right, thanks for letting me know, man. Here's like
I'm sorry.
I was-
I'm sorry. I was holding it and I was like, I can't think right now. I love how raw this podcast can be, especially with the static in the background. I think it adds to the charm of it.
Yeah, sure.
a 20 euro.
As Kieran
profit.
described it.
I was so anyway. So yeah, that's that. That was pretty much it. It's just lad culture. It's become a bit more acceptable now to
Talk about your feel.
talk about your feelings, talk about what's getting you down. But even now, still though, there's still an expectation of right. You got that out of your system now. Fuck's sake,
Now
come on, get
cop on.
Yeah,
Get
cop
on with it.
And for severe cases, that's obviously not true. But for little inconvenient things, sometimes it is nice to go right. Okay, let's not dwell on this. If it's something not significant now, I'm not talking about if it's something serious. It is good to go right. Okay, come on, let's move on. Let's get on with it now.
Hear me, mother
but-
is after time. Shut the fuck up, I hear.
I hear
Just
it.
take a
You're
drink.
still on
go.
about that. We had the funeral and all. Fuck off now.
Jesus.
Oh,
No, but I feel like also
Say that.
sometimes those small things, like, sorry, go on.
No. I was just I was
oh.
gonna say like awful. The delay
And I was
in
like-
my
and he was like-
headphones is
and I-
just horrible. Like I need to plug it, and then no fucking
Yeah.
Ollie.
But I was Ollie typed something into the group chat. I will not share this because it's quite inappropriate. But yeah, I was gonna say what was I gonna? We were talking about now you got me all distracted. What were we talking?
I
Feelings.
can't remember now.
Oh yeah, Ollie mentioned that sometimes the little small things, it's good to react to them in a way that, like, hey, cop on, let's move on from these things, like these small things. But often I think at those situations, you should, like, I agree with that, but under the context, like, the time I would not agree with that if that small thing has something to do with a bigger thing. Like, let's say a person gets upset about something, like, you know, like, I don't know, gets really upset about I don't know, like spilling their pencils over the ground, and they're like, oh, for fuck's sake, and, like, you know, they get really mad about it and they're kind of pissed off at themselves. You kind of ask them, like, be like, hey, what's the story? Like, you know, why are you so mad at spilling the pencils? Because sometimes those little things are a sign of a bigger problem in the background, you know.
Sure.
That's what I learned from having a girlfriend which actually recognizes mental health, and, like, she's quite good at, like, you know, kind of figuring out people's moods and seeing why people, like, she's really good at understanding the emotive side of a human being, like, of how they react to it.
Emotionally intelligent. Like.
Yeah. I feel like that's the thing that we're kind of, I don't know. I was thinking that if we have mixed schools in Ireland, maybe there's more young men would be more in contact with I don't know, like, just understanding things on an emotional level. Because now with all boys schools, you just have these groups that breed lad culture, like, you know.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
What do you think? Do
it's
you think
getting
there should
better,
be
though?
mixed? I definitely it's getting better, but I would say not like a bit better, but I don't think it's Like it's still like the systems are the same. Like there's certain tweaks in them. Like would you consider, what would you prefer, an all boys school or a mixed school?
Well, you're talking to someone who's actually spent more time in a mixed school than
Oh,
an
yeah,
all boys school. My primary school and the last years of my secondary school were mixed. The one similar thing that you kind of delved in it there, but that I can confirm with both scenarios is that lads just tend to be a bit more immature and rowdy.
Yeah.
That's literally it. That's all.
Boys will be boy. No.
Yeah.
That can have implications when you say that.
Yeah, I know.
Just like when it's cracking a harmless joke, boys will be boys, but when it goes beyond that, it's like, I don't. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah.
Nah, but like lads, like
no.
It's the sarcasm. It's good that this is audio because you can hear the tone of voice. Sorry.
Yeah, thank God. No, it's alright. But I feel like there are mixed schools in Waterford. There's two secondary schools that are actually mixed. Actually,
Which ones are they?
Newtown Water Park isn't the Abbey.
Oh yeah.
mixed?
Yeah, the Abbeys.
Actually, there's more. Sorry, there's probably more mixed than.
Would you count Tremor as well? They have one.
St.
CBS.
Paul's.
Oh man, yeah. So what are we talking about besides the Arsaline and De La Salle?
Yeah.
I know there's Mount Sign.
Mercy.
Oh, is that not mixed? No.
No.
Oh.
Mercy as well. Well, now we're just getting into like.
Well, these are schools in our town. So now, okay, it's probably an even split. So it's not uncommon to have mixed. I don't think there's a huge difference
No.
based on people you know. Well,
I heard that mixed schools are just completely different.
yeah.
In
some
what
of
way
them.
though?
In a way that, do you know like how fellas who went to an all boys school text a girl,
Like as in
like as in they don't know how at first, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
lovely weather we're having, and do you know what I mean? Like she said, like there's just
What-
not that
what's the
weird,
rule?
or it's like not that weird like phase where you don't know how to talk to the other opposite sex, because it's just like, oh well, there's like Josh from my class and there's fucking Kira from my class. I don't know, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mm.
they're more tangible, I guess. Like just like you could just your the way you'd interact with them in real life would like inform how you'd text. Like
And it's not like
girls
talking to a girl. It's just talking to someone. Do you know what? I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
makes up stuff like, oh, I'm talking to this one. It's like I'm just talking to my friend. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Sure. That it's weird that like I mean like for me, I didn't really have many friends until like TY, and TY was probably the first time I started talking to girls, and I think I would come with like a certain bias in relationship the way I would talk to girls and the way I would talk to men at the time, because I felt like I have to talk to them in a different way because they're girls, but really everyone's just a human being, and you kind of learn that with time, I feel. But yeah, maybe mixed schools are good for that. But for you, a question for you, Ali, is: do you find that in mixed schools, conversation and the way people hang out is truly like there's a 50-50 with girls and boys, or do they split up into individual groups? Ali is gone. Is he?
Lads, I'm gone. Yeah, I think he died.
All right. I
No.
think he might have gone to the toilet.
But
yeah, that's
at
a
least
question
from
to ask Ali.
I don't know. Just like if I can answer that question, I mean,
Yeah, go on.
I only went to a mixed primary school, but I feel like I don't know. Just I think I was actually commended on how I talked to girls in De La Salle. It's like, boy, how'd you do that? It's like, yeah, you just talk to them like they're people. And they seemed like it was so weird. Like they were just like, how?
all right, boy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like, it was not in a like, oh, like it's like, yo, girl, what's up? Like, it's just like, you know, fucking just like, oh, how
What
are
up,
you? Like,
Sean?
yeah, what up, shorty? Like, you know, it's just like, I don't know.
People
I think
that
that
watch
would've
like
been-
YouTube. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
think it would have been different if fucking like I went to an all boys like primary school. I don't know. I think it's just I'm trying to understand the perspective of someone who went to like an all boys primary school and all boys secondary school. Like I think it's definitely different going from a mixed primary to an all boys secondary. Even
Yeah.
though you're still going through a bit of your development as like just surrounded by all boys, I think just that little bit at the start like just really helps you out. I don't know, it's just I think. But we all went to
Ollie-
mixed.
Is Ollie back? Yeah.
Yeah,
Ollie, we had a
he's
question for you. We were saying that in like mixed schools, would it happen that girls and boys would separate into individual groups based on like the gender, or would people like mix together and have conversations
Both.
together as friends?
Bit of both. Bit of both.
Bit of both.
I was actually quite friendly with the girls in primary school, and to be fair, most of us were. It was fine. But from what I can remember, when it came to like, you know, a bit of fun or whatever, it would be maybe 70-30. 70% of the time you'd be with the lads, and then 30% of the time you'd be intermixing. Maybe a little bit more even than that, but it was normal. It was fine. It was well enough balanced.
Oh. Yeah, because what I imagine is like there would be like a big divide. You know, for Owen was saying like he'd love to get the perspective of a person that went to a all boys school, like all boys primary school and all boys
Constant
secondary
boys, yeah.
school. Yeah, that's me.
Oh.
Well, I went to like obviously like a what is it called, like a preschool. Like that was in Poland, but and that was kind of mixed. But yeah, I mean, like for me, it's different, I guess, because I don't know. I have this kind of being art student and being interested in art kind of gives me more of like a, I don't know. I'm not a lad's lad, like, you know, but I feel like a person that was like
better.
extremely, yeah. But I feel like it would be interesting to see that from a person that was like extremely, you know, masculine, I guess, or maybe
Yeah.
that they were formed to be extremely masculine throughout those two schools.
I actually have a funny story from Irish college. I remember just like there's this fella, he really wanted to like talk to a girl, or he really fancied a girl, but he's like 2 years younger than me. I was like, I just like go up and talk to her, right? And just like, you know, just make friends, like, you know what I mean? Just like don't even think about just like saying, oh, like that you like her. Just like see if you can like hold a conversation, or that you even like get along. And he was just like, I said, oh yeah, I'll just like go up to her. And poor lad just had no idea how to like talk. Like, he went up to like one of the girls and said like nothing for like 20 seconds, and he went like, do you see they have a man of the match Messi on I was just like, all right, I'm getting out of here, because I was like eavesdropping, like I was
Oh, I'd
eavesdropping.
say you were like, oh,
I
cringe.
was just like, okay, abort, just like stop, like just, oh god, I don't know.
Oh my god, that's
What's Irish? What was Irish college like? Sorry.
It's kind of a meme, isn't it? Like, it's just kind of just.
Well, what is it like? Is it just summertime college?
Yeah, it's just a summer
Like,
camp.
what
where
is it?
All like you do like Irish classes in the morning, and then you have like sports activities, or like you just go to the beach, and it's basically just summer school, but just like kind of fun, to be honest. And you just have the whole like boarding school experience.
Black Rock experience.
Black Rock.
Cast out because COVID locked it.
Rock boy.
Talk,
What
What is
talk
it?
about
Rock
that
boy.
next time. Actually, I'd like to hear more about Irish college, because I only had like a mini Irish college
As did
experience.
Should we how many? What's the time on the podcast actually now? Because we
About
could
an hour
leave that.
Oh,
there.
I think we're just an hour about.
All right. I mean, like we could finish that there, and that's like a nice transition for next week, right?
Yeah, that's a good place to start.
Because I mean, like today's episode is a bit more rambly, but I'm gonna see it because we're probably gonna publish this 2 weeks in advance. But I think it might be we might see like get some feedback on what kind of episode is good, whether like a strictly formulated one that sticks to one topic, or whether like a mix and match of conversation, like because that's what I felt this
Don't
episode
like
was.
us talking shit. Stop listening to the podcast, basically.
Yeah. Right. Will I sign off then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right.
You were listening to the Only Messin podcast, sponsored by no one.
Greg,
Actually, shout out to Trench Voyage for doing the background music again at social media and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, see you next week, lads. All the best.
See you next
All
week.
right.
All right.
See you, lad. Good luck.
Bye. 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 Bye.
Look.